They say trust is the foundation of every relationship, that without it, nothing can stand. But what happens when that trust is shattered? When the person you thought would never hurt you turns out to be the one who destroys you? This is my story. The story of betrayal, heartbreak, and the lesson that no one is immune to the lies that can tear us apart. We were inseparable, weren't we? You and I. I met her when I was at my lowest point. She was always there for me, listening to my problems, offering advice, sharing everything about her life. Our bond grew so strong that it felt unbreakable, like nothing could ever come between us. I trusted her with my secrets, my dreams, my vulnerabilities, and she did the same with me. We promised each other that no matter what happened, we would always have each other's backs. I thought that promise was sacred. But like all stories, things started to change, slowly at first. I didn't see it happening. It wasn't until one night when something felt wrong that I realized what was happening behind my back. It was an anonymous message. At first, I thought it was just spam. But the message, it was clear, specific. It said, "You need to know what's happening behind your back. She's with him." I didn't want to believe it. My heart sank into my stomach. Who could be behind this? And why would they send me such a cruel message? As I sat there thinking, pieces of the puzzle started to fall into place. I had seen them together before. The glances, the private jokes. But I never thought much of it. How could I have been so blind? I knew I had to confront her. I couldn't live in this cloud of doubt anymore, but when I walked into that cafe, I felt it. The air was thick with tension. She looked at me, but not like she used to. There was a coldness in her eyes, a distance I had never seen before. I asked her, "Is it true?" She said nothing, her face pale. I repeated myself. This time, I could barely keep my voice steady. I wanted to believe her, I really did. But I knew the truth was hiding behind her silence. She finally spoke. "I didn't mean for it to happen," she said. Her voice was shaky, and I could see the guilt in her eyes. I could see how much she regretted it, but it was too late. She had already crossed a line that couldn't be undone, she confessed. Not only had she been seeing my partner behind my back, but she had been lying to me for months. They'd been hiding it so well, and I had been too blinded by trust to see the truth. I stood up, my heart heavy with disbelief. The weight of the betrayal crashed over me like a tidal wave. She begged for forgiveness, promised it would never happen again. But how could I ever forgive her? How could I forgive him? I walked away from her that day, and I never looked back. The person I trusted most in the world had betrayed me in the worst way possible. And my partner? I couldn't even bring myself to confront him. The thought of it made me sick. But betrayal isn't just about what others do to you. It's about how you rise from it, how you rebuild yourself after everything you believed in has been torn apart. I took time for myself. I distanced myself from everyone who had hurt me, and I started healing. It wasn't easy. It took time, and there were days I thought I would never get over it. But I did. Now I see things differently. Betrayal may break you, but it can also make you stronger. It teaches you to be cautious with your trust, to value yourself more than others ever will. And most importantly, it reminds you that you are capable of overcoming anything, even the most painful betrayals. This story that is mine, but it could be anyone's. If you've ever been betrayed, remember, it doesn't define you. It may hurt, it may cut deep, but in the end, you get to choose who you become. And that choice is yours.